Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be explaining a chapter from Civics class 10 once again, that is outcome of democracy. This is chapter number 7. Okay, in this chapter we'll be talking about democracy. Okay, outcome of democracy. Now what happens if democracy is there? So we are going to talk about that. If you turn on the pages of the book, the first part that we can see is how do we assess democracy's outcome. Means how are you going to give them marks according to you? What opinion will you give for the democracy? Means what type of marks you get out of 10, how much you will give to democracy. That is what it means, assess democracy's outcome. Now first of all, a question comes to our brain. That is what I have written there. Is democracy better than dictatorship or other forms of government? So under that, I have just noted down 5 different points. That is, promotes equality, enhances dignity, quality decision making, room to correct mistakes, and provides methods to resolve conflicts. So first of all, we need to know what is democracy. This is a very simple thing. We have been studying this right from class 6. So what is democracy? In a simple way, we can say democracy is a form of government. Okay, now what happens here? It is actually ruled by the people. It is just a form of government, okay, which can create conditions for achieving something. Means here you have all the choices. Okay, means you have the chance to either make the government or form the government or break the government according to your wish. That is, cast your votes and select your representative. If he does it well, continue. If he does not, just don't cast in his favor. Next year, next ministry can come. Okay, now let us just go for this. Is democracy better than dictatorship or other forms of government? So I'll be explaining point wise. That is point number 1. Okay, now according to this, we can say democratic governments have formal constitution. Okay, it is not the case of other forms of government. I mean, when I say this, I think some of you may not understand. It means what? Democratic governments have a constitution, and under this constitution, many rules, regulations are meant for the citizens. And this type of things are not there in dictatorship, okay, or any other form of government. Another thing that I will see is why democracy is better, because here they hold regular elections, which is not there in any other government. Next one, they have political parties. Okay, they have political parties, whereas in other forms of government, political parties are very less, or somewhere only 1, somewhere only 2. Okay, last video where I had sent about political parties, you had seen China has only 1. UK and USA have got only 2 parties, and that is the difference. In our country we have multi-party, so we have lots of options. Okay, that is what. So that is why it is better than any other form of government. They also guarantee the rights to the citizens. Okay, it is not the case in other forms of government. Means I'll just take an example, or just try to imagine there are some countries where females are not allowed to cast vote. Okay, and females are not even allowed to be a part of the ministry somewhere. But in India, I can say that at least women, they can cast their vote. Okay, whatever the age is. But yes, there is a minimum limit. Maximum we don't have. Minimum, he or she should be 18 years old, and 18 years and above, anyone wherever in this part of India you stay, you are liable to cast vote. Okay, no one can deny you from casting vote. That is what. Then they guarantee these things. As I told you, they guarantee the rights to the citizen. Another point that why democracy is better, you can see governments allow room to correct mistakes. Okay, now why they allow? Because if, as you see, if there is any mistake, and for a mistake, if you are not corrected, just punishment is given, you will never learn what is the why you are punished. But here you will be taught, you will be said that this was the mistake, you have to correct this. This chance is given only in democracy. In dictatorship, if you are caught for committing some mistake, you are gone, you are finished. That is why. Then another point that I will just add it is that in democratic governments, accommodation, okay, when you say accommodation means social diversity is, so means different types of religion, different types of society, different types of practices are welcome in democracy. You cannot say, "Oh, your religion is far better than the others." Okay, everyone is welcome. Well, in some places and in some form of government, only a particular type of religion or practices are allowed, but you cannot use or you cannot follow your religion in that style. Okay, you have to follow their system. This is, I'm talking about dictatorship and other forms of government. If you compare democracy, dictatorship or other form of government, you will find in democracy religion is to the, you can go to any religion you like. No one can say no, you cannot follow this religion. You are the master of your life in democracy. Okay, that is all about the first part of your democracy. Now you have to decide whether it is better or dictatorship is better. So whatever I discussed, that was, you can write towards advantages of democracy. Now if you talk about disadvantages of democracy, there are two, you can say, and these are the two different points where disadvantage comes. First of all, democracy frustrates the needs of the people. Okay, and second one is democracy ignore the demands of a majority of its population. Now with the first point, that is frustrate the needs of people, means here sometimes, looking at what is going on in a country, in a democratic country, sometimes you feel like, yes, this government is not doing well, and you or people become frustrated because of some policies, rules, regulations started by them, and which makes them like, why these parties are fighting among themselves. Sometimes what happened, a ruling party will do something and the opposition party will just try to pinpoint that this is wrong, this is right. Sometimes I used to feel like, why they are pinpointing so much into this and that, means why a ruling party has done this, ruling party has done that, and opposition will try to create some kind of atmosphere or environment where we feel like, now these parties are only fighting for the seat, they're doing nothing for the development of a country. So at that moment sometimes we feel like, no, democracy is very bad. That is first part. Secondly, ignore the demands of the majority of its population. Remember, these are the disadvantages. Now when you talk about population, we have different demands and every demand cannot be fulfilled by the government. Sometimes even the finest, means even the most important demands are not fulfilled by the democratic government. And this happens because uh, demands are so many. Sometimes the government fails to give or give that importance to that important question or important part of their life. For example, price rise. Okay, now the government sometimes fails and now to control about the price rise. Things are becoming costlier day by day, and then how to control it, they cannot. And that moment they will be looking at the construction or making of roads. Sometimes unnecessarily they make the roads here and there. Sometimes where roads are not necessary, they will construct roads, whereas they forget about price rise. Okay, and sometimes employment will never be created. So all these are the disadvantages of democracy. Okay, so under this same topic, that is democracy, okay, we have one more question that may be asked. In short, I'll just have written this. You can see that heading, it's written expected outcome of democracy. So under this there will be subtopic, that is political outcome, social outcome and economic outcomes. Under political outcomes, it is accountable government, responsive government and legitimate government. Under social outcome, you will have 2 points, that is accommodation of different social diversity and dignity and freedom of citizens. Then under economic outcomes, you will come through this economic growth, and development, reduction of inequality and poverty. So this comes under economic outcomes. So this same topic will be discussed in the next slide. Okay, next slide with the subtopic. That means I'll be discussing political outcomes first, all the three, then social outcomes, then economic. At present, what I'm showing is only the a question. Maybe they may ask you this question, that is, what are the expected outcome of democracy? In short, you can write all this. If it is for 3 marks, just write accountable, responsive, legitimate government, accommodate social diversity, social that means dignity and freedom of citizens, economic growth and development, and reduction of inequality and poverty. Okay, and for time being, that is only the short. I'll be explaining the whole in different points. Okay, now I'll be coming for that. So if you look at the second topic of the book, that is, it says that accountable, responsive, and legitimate government. Okay, so what is accountable government, what is responsive government, and what is legitimate government? So make sure you listen to this carefully. Okay, so in under accountable government, people have the right to choose their representative and control them. So if you are getting this right, that means you will get an accountable government. Okay, secondly, under accountable government, citizens have the right and the means to examine the process of decision making, that is the mechanism of transparency. Nowadays, very simple, RTI is there, other thing is there, many apps have been made by the government, so that you don't need to go here and there for paying bills or this and that. Online registration for your driving license, this, that, everything is there. It means very transparent. Okay, and then there are some sites from which you can even make out whether the company is a genuine company, running in loss, not running in loss. There are some sites also. This is because of transparency of the government. Next, under accountable government, practices and institution like regular, free, and fair elections and open public debate starts. Okay, so all these are there. So I was talking about practices and institution. That means here you know what happened. Accountable government always try to keep a regular and free fair elections and then open public debate. Means you're free to say whatever you want. There is no hiding behind something and saying something behind and saying something in front of. Means no double faced things here and there. Okay, but yes, every good things will be having some disadvantage, which we'll talk later on. Okay, now under accountable government, citizens rights to information about government and its functioning is also there. Means you as I told you, transparent. That means right to information is there. You can just go ask anything from anywhere, and then you will be given the information. Okay, that is your right. But what are the contradiction under this? Okay, democracy produces a less effective government. That is only the contradiction. Means it is accountable, we say, but because of democracy, sometime what happened after casting vote, we see that before the election they just promise many things. Once they are elected, they do nothing. That means what happened, we sometimes feel very unhappy with our choices. That is what they say contradictions are. Democracy produces a less effective government. Why? And they know, the government also knows that if we work for 5 years, we'll be earning. If we don't work, we'll not earn. So the first few years they may not, and the last 2 years maybe they will try to build up such a environment that they will be elected once again. So okay, they do this. In democracy, decisions sometimes are delayed. Okay, many things. Now as an example, if there are any cases pending in the courts, it is not pending for 1 year. Recently the Nirbhaya case was solved, and it came after 2012 it was filed, and only in this 2020 report came out, or judgment has been given, and in this also, like, there will be lots of controversy. Then, what is the justification of accountable government? Some people think that democracy produces less effective government than other forms do not have to think about majority opinions and deliberations. Yes, but democracy keeps in mind both. I mean, uh, if it is like when some people says that democracy produces less effective, we can just say yes, democracy is less effective, but democracy keeps in mind that uh, both sides are being looked after. That is, um, they don't want to make people happy, they don't want to make the government also unhappy. Means we want to go together. But if it is another form of government, they will just keep an eye on one target. That is, either it is, if it is dictatorship, they will just look at themselves, they will not look at the public. Whereas in democracy, they will go for both. They will try to fulfill their pockets, as well as they will try to at last, I can say, to a limit, they'll just fulfill the needs of the people also. That means they work hand in hand or side by side together. And democracy is based on the idea of deliberation and negotiations. Okay, they always have to uh, lots of negotiations are being there. You can talk and talk, and then you can get the result. So that is what democracy is. So because of this, what happened, many things are bound to be delayed, and decisions comes maybe both more acceptable or maybe more effective, sometimes maybe not even effective, not even acceptable. But whatever takes, it is whatever takes, whatever decisions are being taken, sometimes it comes out very late, very late. Okay, that is about accountable government. Now our second government is responsive government. Now responsive government is what? It's a responsible government, okay, and responds to the needs and expectations of the people. It promotes the formation of public opinion and cares about the public opinion. Then democracy is very attentive to the needs and the demands of the people. So when you just go through responsive government, you will see these are the words which will be written there. It means what? Under this one, they are very responsible. They always try to fulfill the expectations of people. They care the demand of the people. They care the opinion of the people. Okay, they also pay attention to the needs and demands, as well as uh, they try to be free from lots of problems and all. They also try to become like more sensitive to the people. Then this responsive government, we expect them, they should be free, they should be free from corruption also. Then under this responsive, there are contradiction. That is, most democracies fell short of elections that provide a free or fair chance to everyone, and in every decision to public debate. We can just say this, contradictions are always made. But here responsive government, all can say that. Okay, all can say that democracy have a greater success in setting up regular and free elections. None of the other government have these chances. Okay, none of the government go for free fair election, but yes, democracy does it, and regular. Okay, then we have legitimate government. Now the word legitimate itself, it's very clear. Legitimate means what? The correct government. Okay, the government for the people. So democracy gives the government, and this government is for the people. Here the one who forms the government are the majority party, or the group of people who won the election. They form the government, and that is a legitimate government. No one comes by themselves. Okay, then whenever possible and necessary, citizens they participate in decision making, and because of this decision making, it affects everyone. Means what? If the public is happy with the government, the government continues to run. If the public not happy, they'll just throw down the government and go for next election. It also generates own support of itself. Means the government, a legitimate government, tries to support themselves. In what way? they do good so that they remain in power. Okay, that is why they really work hard. So these are all about the political outcomes of democracy. And our next topic will be economic outcomes. Okay, under economics outcome there will be uh, 2 points which you have already seen in the board. Okay, so I'll be explaining this in my next video.